Very little. Okay, the recording is in
I can
progress.
go next.
Parisa, do you want to talk about how useful the French skills are in your job?
Exactly. So, it depends on like the department or agency that hires you. But for example, Public Service Commission of Canada, our office is very bilingual. We like most of my colleagues, they're like bilingual, and we communicate in langage, which like we start the sentence in English and we finish in French, or like vice versa, because that makes more sense and we can understand each other better. But yeah, we also work a lot with our colleagues in Eastern Canada. So there are like some colleagues who can express themselves better in French, especially like when you want to like grow and develop your career for higher levels. French would be a big asset for you because you can participate in higher level meetings. For some people, when we hire them and they have like a beginner to intermediate level of French, and like they can get hired for some positions. Like in cases that they want to develop their career, we also offer them French language training. So this is also an option that you can benefit in order to go for like higher positions and like higher level of like salary and also responsibilities, of course. So French is very helpful for bilingual positions if you're thinking about working for the public service.
Oh, interesting. Thank you very much, Parisa. And I was wondering, it was a media by Audrey Yu at Radio Victoria. How does it work for Radio Victoria? Would you like to talk a little about how French skills have been useful in your career? Very useful,
Yeah,
little.
good question. I think it's a bit different because like we're a French
Mhm,
media, so we almost exclusively speak French and deliver message to the community in French because that's
mhm,
our role. So I would say five on a scale of 1 to 5. It's five. It's really useful, but
mhm,
I think like we still use English because like the community around us is not only in French, so we go and do interview in English and reportage. Sound
mhm,
yeah. So yeah, I would say it's really useful. But
mhm.
it's also an asset for us to find someone that can work for us that can speak, that is bilingual and can go out there in the rest of the community to report to the other people that speak French and maybe a little bit less English. So yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Is is there another panelist who would like to chime in on this question?
I can also add,
Please.
so for me as well, I think that French has opened so many doors for myself over the years, and I'm super um, thankful to being able to speak this language because I wouldn't have had the same path as if I didn't speak French. The past three jobs I've only spoke mostly in French with my colleagues because it's within the Francophone community. But also it's a little bit bilingual for sure because we're in a linguistic minority in the context of BC. So it's definitely useful to have both languages because then you can kind of connect and be the bridge between the language gap that can happen between these multiple communities. But for sure, on a day-to-day basis, I speak French. My emails are in French. Everything I'm doing in my day is usually in French, and then I'll have opportunities to speak English whenever I'm working with people outside the network of the Francophone community or building new relationships and new partnerships with different communities. We have a lot of really great partners at different levels, but that will be in English. But I would say like 95% of my job is in French, so it's definitely super important for me. And everyone in our organization speaks French, but not everyone has learned French the same way in the sense where we have different horizons with the language and how we've learned it from different countries as well. So that's always a beautiful mix of expressions and ways to speak French that we find kind of adds to the work and being able to learn about each other's French as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, sometimes we don't realize because we think BC and French, the minority language in BC, we don't realize we can live and work in French. So for our students, I'm glad that they hear that you work 95% on French, and Audrey is working a lot in French, and Parisa as well. Yeah, you can have a wonderful career in French, even in the west coast of Canada. And that brings me maybe to my next question. I was wondering, in your organization, how many French speakers do you currently have? Is it a minority? Is it a big part of the workforce? Yeah, how many French speakers do you have working with you in your organization? Yeah, maybe Chloe, do you like to start some?
Sure. So we currently have a team of 65 employees, and all our 65 employees speak French. I think it's like Claudia said, we didn't all learn French the same ways, and a lot of us, it might be our third or fourth language, but our work environment is bilingual. Both French and English are used daily. But it is essential and it's mandatory requirement to speak French to be hired at Alliance Française.
How interesting. Yeah, everybody speaks French. And I'm wondering, Paris, in your department, Government of Canada, how does it work? Is it everybody speak French or is it some people only? Would you like to speak about it?
Yes, of course. So I believe like in our office in Vancouver, our regional office, we are about maybe like 12. So everybody comes from a different background, but we just have two people who cannot speak French and communicate in French. But like, yeah, all the other people, we have like three colleagues who are like originally from France. We have one person from Belgium. We have a Lebanese, me, like someone from like Ontario, someone from New Brunswick. Yeah, but like the other ones, they also learned French. So yeah, lots of like everybody, like it's really like comfortable because you know that you can just start speaking in the official language of your choice with your colleagues and they will understand and answer you.
Yes, that's wonderful. I can see for all of your workplace, actually the majority of workers,
Exactly.
all the workers speak French, or the
English is our
majority of
minority
workers.
language.
So that's interesting. So that brings me to maybe to my next question already. In the work environment, we understand you have a mixed workforce, and many people who speak French, but how do you work? Is it strictly French? Is it English, or is it bilingual, a little mix in the middle of the meeting? It depends of meeting. Would you like to talk about that? Who would like to speak a little about that?
I can go. I think it's
Mhm.
going in the line that my colleague just said before. For us, it would be like about 80%, 90%, like 80, 85, 90% in French, just because we have specialists that do like all the technical work that we can't find that specialization in French here in BC. Well, not yet. Maybe some of you here, students in the panel, could come and help us with that. But so I would say it's 80 to like 85, 90% in French most of the time. Yeah.
That's impressive, yeah. And what about you, Vincent, at the Society of Development Economic? You talk about the different public you are working with. Are you working predominantly in French or a little mix of French and English? How does it work for you?
I would say mostly we are working with a Francophone community. So the main public, they are Francophones, but from everywhere, honestly, which is the beauty of the province, honestly, and of Canada. But I would say because we are also working in regarding our employability sector, we are also working with employers in the province, and those employers most of the time they speak English and they do not speak French, or they have some basics. Of course, they have some basic knowledge. They probably went to immersion school when they were younger, but most of the time we have to adapt the speech and try to focus our this speech actually in English. So regarding like this sector, this area I'm working in, I would say it's a good, let's say 35%, like 65% of French, 35 in English if my math are good. So yeah.
Your mass are massing up. Yes, that's interesting. So we are all working predominantly in French. That's very exciting. Now I'm thinking about our students now graduating with this French language at different level. How many opportunities is there for people with French skills is there in your organization? I don't know, opportunities maybe on a yearly basis, maybe on a monthly basis, depending how often you guys recruit. But what opportunities are there for people who have French skills in your organization? Are you recruiting regularly? Huh?
I could start maybe then.
Go ahead, Vincent.
But it's gonna be a quick answer. Like we are a small organization. We are like right now 24 people working mainly in Vancouver, some of them in Kelowna, and one person in Victoria. So we're quite small, but we're expanding so far each year. So I would say on an average basis, on a yearly basis, I would say we are recruiting between 2 to 5 persons on mostly project management. Yeah, and with people in different backgrounds, and doesn't necessarily matters like to have a lot of experience. It's mostly we will consider mostly the will to, let's say, being involved into the Francophone community and to work towards the idea of building a strong community through economic development.
Oh, that's exciting. Recruiting 2 to 5 people when you have your size is actually 10 to 20% of your workplace, actually quite a bit. And it's good to know that you are developing and you are looking for soft skills that you develop later. That's exciting. What other opportunity does some of you would like to talk about opportunity in their institution?
Yes, I can go. So at Alliance Française, we have a branch in Victoria and a branch in Vancouver for now, and we're planning to extend in BC. So we have ongoing opportunities for French-speaking candidates. We look for different roles like admin staff, so anyone who studied business, human resource, accounting, or any related field. Our teaching staff requires a master in French as foreign language, so it's pretty specific. But we also have the cultural team, so anyone with technical certification, background in cultural mediation, or any cultural qualification is also ideal. And yeah, so it's ongoing, and we're happy to welcome new team members and intern as well, if interested.
Yeah, for internship, yeah, that's good. Sometimes our students are just looking for a way to practice without committing to a full-time job. So that's a good opportunity. And I'm hearing that, like Vincent, we are looking for people who have French skills, but also other skills, like maybe some accounting, maybe some HR skills, maybe some management skills. So French skills it's an additional profile that you research. Yeah. Parisa, you did talk a lot in your introduction about the recruitment. Do you have an idea about numbers? Because Government of Canada, we often think as a big employer of French speakers. Do you have an idea of the opportunities?
So we are the biggest employer of the whole country. So, we are everywhere and we know all kinds of like languages. So talking about the language profile of positions, we have three type of language profiles. We have bilingual, we have English essential, and French essential. So most of the positions that are posted on GC Jobs, when you look at it, you will see bilingual under essential qualifications as one of the job requirements. It can like facilitate and decrease the staffing time when the person is bilingual, because like they can easily just like hire that person and they can like communicate with many colleagues across Canada from coast to coast to coast, where we offer different positions. Last week, Wednesday and Thursday, I was in Victoria, and I was also presenting at Société Francophone de Victoria. So I was for 3 of my events in different like universities and colleges. I was partnering with IRB team, Inshore Rescue Boat team, which are now officially under National Defense. and they were saying that, oh my God, you're going to Société Francophone. We have like lots of difficulties finding bilingual candidates. Can you please like spread the word that we are looking for bilingual talent all the time? So they are hiring like for student positions. It's on FSWEB link, like the page that I sent into the chat. You can check it out. I think it's November 24th, the deadline for applying. But yeah, we have lots and lots of positions, student positions, and also like permanent, indeterminate, or like term positions available. But I cannot give you like the exact number because
No.
it's all the time like changing. Yeah,
And Government of Canada is many departments and many
exactly.
services.
Yes.
So, but as you say, it's one of the biggest. It's the biggest or one of the biggest employers in the country. So many opportunities here, and I want to rebound on something that Chloe was saying a little earlier. She was mentioning the diploma that they were looking for the French instructor. Chloe, you mentioned that you wanted to see a master of French as foreign language. And I was wondering, you guys, is there a specific language diploma or certification that your institution is looking for when they recruit French-speaking candidate? What are you looking for? Is it a TEF? Is it a TCF? Is it a DELF-DALF? Is it a master? What are you looking for in terms of diploma credential? I'm not sure who would like to speak about that first.
I can go as we administer a lot of different tests. So what we've been looking around TF and TCF, it is mostly helpful for immigration purposes right now. The DELF, Diplôme d'études en langue française, DELF, can definitely help a candidate's application, whether it's with any of us or anyone in Canada. It's also accepted in university in Europe. So I really advise taking or considering to pass the DELF, which is really helpful, and it provides a useful benchmark for language proficiency.
Yeah, those are very useful language tests indeed to certify your language level. What about others? What are you using institution? Audrey, are you guys asking anything at Radio Victoria when you hire people? What type of diploma or credential are you looking at?
Well, definitely. But if we're talking about French diploma specifically right now, I would say we're
Or
not
language, yeah,
language.
French
Yeah.
language, yeah.
I think it's more about when you meet the people. So like if they're able to speak, because like we said, you could have a diploma in another language, but have a family background or community background, which means you're able to write and speak in French. So that's what we're looking for. So definitely we have different level and position that we're able to have like in our media. So some of them are like more frontline, which means they will have to have like a higher skills of French, because if they need to communicate, they need on the radio, they need to be able to communicate well. But well is also like, that's a really good question, because that's always something we're asking ourselves. What is well? Because like, is it the accent? Definitely not for us. But I think it's the ability to take an information and say it in French. And as we live in a bilingual place, I think there's a lot of franglais that goes out, and I think that's fine, because that's the community we are. So it's a little bit different than Chloe, but we're also serving a different part of the community. So I think there's a little bit for everyone. Yeah.
And that's good to see. You don't look for specifically a diploma or certain type of credential, but you kind of see the ability of the person, the ability to write and speak. And as you say, the person might have learned in their community and not have any diploma, and they're still able to work for Radio Victoria. So that's very interesting. What about the other? Is there specific language diploma, language credential that you look for, or not really?
I wanted to add something to that.
Go ahead,
So for
Parisa, please.
bilingual positions in the federal government, we do not accept any kind of diploma or certificate outside the government. So when you apply for bilingual position, the department who is running the selection process sends you to us, Public Service
Mhm.
Commission of Canada, and we assess your second language. It can be French, it can be English, but we will
Mhm.
assess you, and this is the only results for second language that we accept, and also other departments and agencies they accept. As a candidate, unfortunately, you cannot come to us and ask for an evaluation. You should be in a selection process. You are sent to us by the department. It's free for you. The department will pay us for sure. And then once you receive your results, and it's for like 3 competencies, we have written expression, reading comprehension, and oral, which is like listening and speaking. You will have
Mhm.
kind of an interview with a language assessor. It will be valid for 5 years. So once you receive it from like this first selection process, you can use those results for any bilingual position that you're applying.
Yeah, that's good to know they are kept for 5 years. That's very good. And it's good to know that it's part of the application, because sometimes the DELF and DALF that Clay was talking is only offer like twice a year. So if you miss the November session, you have to wait until March. So you may not be able to apply to a job. While here it's part of the application process. So
Exactly.
the candidates are not stuck waiting for their language certification. That's very interesting. And many of you have talked previously how, of course, you are looking for French language, but also other skills. And in particular, what kind of study background are you looking for in candidates? With people maybe with administration skills, people with HR skills. What kind of other skills are you looking for in general, your organization is looking for when they recruit?
I can start and then everyone else
Please,
can
Claudia,
add.
thank you.
Yeah, I think we named a couple of them, but for sure, lots of communications as well. We have a
Mhm.
lot of a big comms team in the team that does lots of hard work. We also have a lot of events with the community, so we're looking for like project managers or event organization skills, different also for advocacy and like being able to brief for a political meeting or stuff like that. So different skill sets, but I think we're also smaller organizations in the community. So we're really looking for polyvalence, being able to have
Mhm.
kind of lots of skills and adapt to the context and reality of our smaller resources sometimes. So definitely a willingness to learn as well. I think when you're having to choose between candidates and you can tell one is very motivated to grow and learn and build on their skill set, for us, that's something that we'll definitely appreciate a lot and try to, build this person up so that they can also keep going in the community and kind of invest in our staff
And
as much
develop
as they
their
can.
abilities and their skills. Yeah, that's very
Mhm.
good. And Claudia is posting right now in the chat some job offer in the Francophone community.
Yeah,
So
there's not like that many right now, but this is the link that I would save and like look once in a while because we have our members will send us usually when they post jobs opportunities in the community because there's so many different organizations. Sometimes it can feel intimidating to look at each website and go see what jobs. So they have a tendency to send it our way so we can kind of mutualize everyone into one page. So I would
yeah, it's a good link to save and it's updated little by little. That's great. And I was thinking maybe Chloe, would you like to speak a little more to this question because you mentioned a little that Alliance Française have different type of skill set depending on the different employees. So what type of other skills and French are you looking for when someone wants to work in Alliance Française?
Right. So as I said, it's mandatory to be able to understand and speak French. Even though the half of the admin staff and the reception and the people who administer the exam will speak in English. But basically, we have a big team, so it really depends on the department. As I said, in admin, we have marketing, we have accounting, we have reception, we have rental coordinator, event planning. The cultural team also is a big backbone of our organization. So, as I
Yes.
said, anyone with technical certifications, art, our programs, any art programs, and perhaps someone who has a good level of French and he's doing education and childhood will really help as well, because we have classes from age 3 to any kind of age. So we do have a lot of kids studying French. So any help will be welcome too.
Yeah, a lot of different skill sets. That's very interesting. Is there anyone else who want to speak about this question about the other skills that your organization look for?
I think I can go.
Yes, go ahead,
So
please, Audrey.
you already said, I think I'm gonna go a little bit more, like Claudia said, we're looking mainly for polyvalence, willingness to learn.
Mhm.
I think those are really big skill that we're looking for. But if we're talking about diploma, we're looking in journalist, communication, media studies. So that's
Makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Maybe, but also like sound engineering. That's something I said earlier. It's really hard to find some that are qualified and bilingual. So that would be a really big asset. And if I could add, we also looking for broadcasting technology diploma. So it's really specific, but we also have like marketing, public relation, community development, because we are a nonprofit. So we also do community events and work with our community. So yeah, what a variety.
That's so exciting because many of our students have diverse center of interest. They like French, but they might also like, marketing or communication or human resources. And yeah, it's encouraging for them to know that they can do a minor and a major later, by example, and keep their French skills and develop other set of skills. And that will help them to find employment because there are many organizations, like you say, we are looking for multiple skill set and the ability to work in different environments. So that's very interesting. And I want to rebound a little on something that Claudia was saying, which was super interesting. One moment you say that you invest in the person that you hire. And my question is, let's say if you is there opportunities or incentive for upgrading the French language in your organization? So let's say you recruit somebody who speak a little but not that well. Is there a way for them to keep progressing and to keep perfecting their French while in the organization?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, right now, most of them want to perfect their English. So then we'll offer different resources to do English. But yeah, certainly there's always room for supporting different staff needs, and that could be one of them. I'm not gonna lie and say there's definitely needs to be some sort of conversational level of French to be able to understand and function in the projects. But for sure, yeah, like if this person wants to go even further, we have like a little fund every year that we can use for the formation and like being able
Okay.
to have access to different capacity building, and that could definitely be one of them.
Also, that's good to know there is a fund made for professional development. And
Yeah.
that made me think about you, Parisa, and the government of Canada. You talk about the different level earlier, the bilingual job offer versus just the little lower level. Let's say someone arrive at the government of Canada with a medium ability. Are they able to keep progressing and to train themselves in French within the government of Canada?
Yes, as I mentioned, we offer language training, so English or French, but like most of the people here in West Coast, they require and they ask for French language training. So yes, but when we are hiring someone with a level of French, usually like for the entry level till mid-level, we are requiring BBB, which is like beginner to medium. And it says usually imperative.
Yeah.
Imperative, that means that when we are hiring you, you should absolutely meet that level. But if you want to go for higher levels, or sometimes it's mid-level and higher, and they're looking for non-imperative, that means that they can hire you with the level of French that you have, but they give you, for example, an amount of time, like a couple of months or a year, and French language training, so you can achieve that level.
That's awesome. So they give you are able to progress and pursue and give you time and objective. That's really good. Is there anybody else who want to talk about this question?
Yes, at Alliance Française as well, we offer several opportunities to support language development because we were a French school basically. So of course, employees can take French classes at a reduced cost. They benefit from free access to the events, the library resources, and discount for the French courses as well, along with their family members and their friends. So it's also a plus.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I have a question about, we talk about the language skills, and I want to talk a little about culture, and in particular about intercultural competence, the ability, to dialogue with other culture without offending them in particular. Is that what importance does your organization place on intercultural competence? Is it something important or not really? Does someone want to talk about it?
I could take
Go ahead, Vincent.
the lead on this because it is honestly something we can be really proud at the SDCB. We have a really strong intercultural team. Like sincerely, just in my own service, the immigration and employability sector, I have colleagues from Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Mexico, Congo, France, Quebec. So we have like a lot of people from a bit everywhere, honestly, and it's not just nice. It's super nice to be able to see the cultural differences between those people who learn French their own ways, but also because they have their own approach on how to work, on how to do the job, how to deal sometimes with conflicts or with
even a meeting, even
yeah,
to deal with a meeting.
yeah, completely. So no, it's honestly amazing, and that's something we are really like proud to get, proud to have, but also working towards it to always have this interculturality within our organization. I feel like nowadays, even more in Canada, super more in BC, it's really important. We cannot just stay on the francophone from France stuff. It won't work. So we do have, it is almost mandatory to be intercultural, but if you can do it without even realizing it, it's even better.
Very interesting, very interesting. Is there somebody else who want to add something to what Vincent said?
I can go.
Yes,
When
please.
you join a public service, like any department or agency, there are some mandatory trainings that you need to pass. So, like working in an inclusive and respectful environment is a part of that. So we talk about like how to respect other like sensibility in other cultures, how to treat colleagues. And so far we have like all the colleagues, they are respecting each other and they're mindful of each other's like limits, what kind of jokes can be like made
Yeah.
when we are like communicating, but at the same time, we have some conflict management mechanisms in place. So if there's a conflict that happens in the workplace, there are some mechanisms and like there are steps to take and some procedures to follow to like control and like mitigate the like influence on the team and like other people.
Very interesting, very interesting. Does somebody else would like to share? Claudia, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can just echo off both contributions. Like it's super important in our core values to be able to work in a multicultural, intercultural space. Francophonie is from all over the world, so we have people with different stories, different backgrounds, different identities. So for us, it's super important to be able to adapt and speak of these, make it something that can really have space and foster connection and be able to work in spaces where we have dialogues and different issues in the community that come up. We have to be able to navigate it together. So that's definitely a skill set that we're looking for when we hire. And as much within the team. We're all from different places, backgrounds, but also in the community. It's a very big diversity that we have to acknowledge and work with. So for sure, that's something that's super important. And being able to bring those identities to your workplace and being intersectional being is part of the reality of working in this space.
Yeah, and so important because something that we often insist in class, French language and French culture and this intellectual competency. And sometimes students may not realize that it is really a skill which is useful after your study, in your professional life, in your day-to-day life. It's actually a lifelong skill. So it's something we insist on and something which I believe is really important in our reality, in our world today. Here, I'm wondering if we should move on to the question and answer part of the panel. Kefe, and what do you think? Should we move on? I have still one question, but I'm wondering if you shouldn't give a chance to the students to ask a little the questions they thought about.
Fanny, we do have some questions on here, but I think our guest speakers actually have done a really good chance of also answering the questions. Jenny, what are some questions that you are seeing that you would like to have the employers ask from the
Yeah, for
students?
sure. So, oh, I see a French one. Okay, I'm
Ooh,
gonna
I can
I'm gonna try
translate
and say
it.
this in French. Let me pardon my French, but let me try this. Okay, so Clarice said, okay, I'm gonna try my best. Comment est-ce que peut appliquer pour les différents employés offerers? I hope you could understand that. So, yeah, so Clarice is asking this question.
So yeah, Chloe is asking about the different type of job offer. And this is a complex question because Sarissa was explaining there was many type of different jobs. So I'm not sure if one of our panelists want to try to answer Clarice's question.
I can go. So,
Thank you,
pour
Sarissa.
répondre à de rien. Pour répondre à votre question, Emploi GC, c'est le site web où vous pouvez trouver tous les emplois, toutes les opportunités au sein du gouvernement fédéral, parce que ils ont une obligation légale de publier au moins une journée ouvrable toutes les opportunités sur Emploi GC. I will say that in English as well. So GC Jobs is the best place, even though they may use Indeed, LinkedIn to post like job postings. But GC Jobs is the best place where you can find all the like employment opportunities because there all the departments and agencies they have the legal obligation of posting their job opportunities like at least one business day on that website, so you can find all the jobs there, but you need to create your profile first in order to be able to apply for them.
Awesome. And okay, so Anna had asked, are there cultural differences in French-speaking work environment that workers should be aware of?
I can go with that one, but definitely yes. There are a lot of cultural differences, but that's honestly more like you have to understand that it is more like an opportunity than like something that will give you like retaliation or anything bad about it, because everyone's know like we cannot expect you to understand those differences without learning them from the field, right? Before arriving at this DSP, I never used to work with people from Vietnam, from other countries. Like to me, it was really like only French people from France, and that's it. So honestly, that's something you'll get to learn, and that's amazing because you're also learning a lot about yourself, your ability to understand that your culture, even more if you're from France like me, like it's not the only one that does exist. You cannot be right on everything, and you have to accept that those people, they have learned French while it was probably not their first language, so they made quite an amazing like work on it, such as a lot of you students today. So no, there are a lot of differences, but you learn them from the field, from meeting those people at social events, at work, So yeah, there are a lot of cultural differences, but this is the beauty of it.
Thank you, Vincent. And then Eva, I'm gonna put Eva and Anne's together just because they're so similar. Eva asked, in a French-speaking work environment, which is more important, speaking or writing? And to add to that, what level of French proficiency is typically required to use it effectively in a professional setting?
I can go for that one because we work a lot with the teachers. So for me, you guys can tell me if you agree. It would be more important the speaking. The writing, of course, it's important, but the AI and other application can really help you. But no one can help you to speak with your coworkers or clients or members in your organization. So yeah, and for the second question, I would say so. Again, it's regarding the Delft, but when you're B1, B2, you're okay. Like you're gonna do good. But I would say A1 and A2, so the beginner, it's gonna be more complicated at first, but you can grow for sure.
Yeah.
Thank
For those
you.
who are listening to us, B1 is a threshold level in Delft. That means you are able to communicate without too much challenge. Of course, there is little mistake here and there, but you are able to argue, to justify, to talk about past, present, future, with maybe little hesitation here and there. And I believe, Claudia and Parisa, that's what you were saying, that you need to be able to function in French when you work in your organization, right? You need to have,
Exactly.
yeah, you need to have
Speaking,
an
listening,
intermediate
and
level.
being able to like write in French, like when you are like emailing people, receive the answer in French, participate in meetings, or like interact with French-speaking colleagues or stakeholders. So yes, this is the level that we require.
Yeah, we'd also say the question concerning speaking or writing, like it depends on the job title or it depends on the responsibilities. Like if you're in communications and you're writing articles or stuff like that, of course, I think the writing would be probably the one that you'd want to bank on. But if it's more organizing events and it's more public speaking, opening remarks, etc., then no one would really know your writing level unless you're writing emails, and that's a little bit less heavy than writing an article, in French. So I would say play to your strengths as well in what you're applying for. And there's also a lot of tools to be able to help with corrections or different apps that exist that can also help to navigate in these spaces. And then I would say that definitely, from what I'm hearing, I think if you're applying to work in the government space, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's a little bit more strict. There's clearly like tests and stuff, but in the community, there's no, other than to become a French teacher at L'Alliance and most other organizations, there's no test. It's more like your first impression, the interview. If it's fluid, they're gonna assume that you're able to work in the space just from your interview and from your letter that you write and all these things.
And that's good. That's a good level. That's a good news for the students who are thinking to acquire French language because they are speaking English. English is their mother tongue. In a couple of years, they can get to an intermediate level where they are fairly comfortable. So with a little investment in time, and they are perfectly able to develop a fluency in French, which allows them to work in those organizations. So that's a good news for students. You don't need 6 years of French to be able to work for the government, right? You need to be able to function in French, and you can work in different places in French.
Yeah, we also have some jobs in the Francophone community to work with the Anglophone community in
Of
partnership.
course.
So that can also be a nice stepping stone because then you can be kind of the link between the language barriers, and also lots of organizations that are in English have a person they're looking for who can liaison with the Francophone community. So that can also be a nice role.
And I believe, Vincent, you were talking about that the community were mostly speaking in French, but with the employers, you were dealing mostly in English because the communication was more bilingual with them.
Yes, definitely. And it's not only even with employers actually. Like Claudia could told you about this. Like there are tons of other non-profit organization within the employability sector, we call them the LIP, local immigration partnership, as an example, who are mostly Anglophones. But because our missions are quite related, they are connected, we do work a lot with them. So sometimes we have to find a field of agreement on which language to choose to work on and to speak with. So most of the time it will be English, right? And no beef against that. But yeah, and English is strong here in British Columbia. We know that. We have to be aware of it. But French will be an amazing resource to just get even more opportunities.
Wow, we have so many questions coming in the chat, and I want to be respectful of our time. But before we get started on that, for everyone who are asking these questions, please send an email to french@douglascollege.ca and they'll be able to answer their questions. We're just really running low on time. Before Keith says the goodbyes, if we can maybe we'll take a photo. If you are not comfortable in taking a photo, feel free to turn off your camera. But I'm gonna get Yana here, who's my student assistant, and she's gonna be taking a screenshot to be put onto our social media. So I'm gonna count down from 3, and then once I say 1, Yana's gonna take a screenshot. So again, if you're not comfortable, feel free to turn off your camera. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, amazing. Thank you, Yana. Thank you, everyone, for smiling for the camera. And I'm gonna pass it on to Keith.
Wow, what another fantastic event too. I have learned lots. I'm starting to regret a little bit not paying more attention when I was in French class. Maybe I should have done it a bit more.
We
But
have
yeah,
classes in Douglas. Come to our
yes,
courses.
maybe I should look into French as well too. Again, thank you so much all of our students for attending, and also a big thank you to Audrey, Chloe, Claudia, Parisa, and Vincent. You guys are wonderful as always on the panel. I'm sure the students learned lots as well. And I want to thank you so much to Fanny and Kimberly from our French department for collaborating with us and for hosting these events. If you guys are interested in learning more about French at Douglas College, or just learning about what you guys can do with French, feel free to reach out to french@douglascollege.ca, or just reach out to Fanny and Kimberly. I'm sure they would love to chat more as well. As always, if you guys are looking forward to enhance your career, come on over to the Career Center. We're there for you as well for Douglas College students and alumni. We'd love to help you out with when you guys are applying for these jobs in your resume and cover letter. And a big shout out to my colleague Jenny as well, and to our student Yana for the rest of this event. For students, I know it's 4:31. Some of you have classes, or some of you have other places to be. Please feel free and exit the call. For the employers, if you guys could just stay on for a couple minutes, if that is okay. If you're not, I totally understand. Once again, thank you so much. I will be in touch with all of you, and I look forward to seeing you again next year.